Hey there crafters, and welcome to Countdown to Christmas. This is an inspired 24-day of projects leading up to the festive season. I am joining the fabulous, my friend, Tracy Bish, and we will inspire you with cards, small gifts, and maybe even a bit of scrapbooking. I would like to show you day 13. Now, day 13 isn't a card. It is a gorgeous little packet to put your coffee sachets in. Okay, these ones here contain 2 little packets. There is room on the back for writing, for a little message, and some candy canes as well. This is probably a stamp set we've had around for a while, but people do tend to miss out on this one. So if you are joining from this video, it means that you've missed out on a heap already. Please make sure you click on the link below and start at the very beginning, because there are so many that you would love. So let's get started, everyone. Thanks, everyone. We are going to do yet another little off the card or 3D project. It's not very 3D-ish, but it is a project that you can use. So this is a cute little idea for a neighbor or a friend that you just want to give them a little trinket. This is also a great idea to throw in with a mug or a voucher. So I'm a big fan of Starbucks, but for this particular one, we're just going to use some of these in Australia. We've got some of these coffee bags, which are lovely, and I have grabbed a couple of our candy canes. So being Christmas, a peppermint peppermint flavored coffee is always a good idea, or I mean, at least for me. So some of the things we're going to need for this one, we're going to use the More Than Autumn stamps. I'm just going to use, this is still around, this one, and I'm going to use my little cup and my coffee cup, and we've actually already stamped and coloured my candy cane and my little gingerbread man. That was from another project. And I'm going to use the whipped cream as well. So we're going to stamp those parts out. And then part of this is going to be the Christmas greenery dies. And I'm going to cut these out, these little pine tree, I don't know what they call. So one of those, we're going to use our traditional labels to finish it off with our sentiment, which is going to be fairly simple. Now, I am going to use today as well, I'm going to use the two-tone cardstock. I have got some in garden green, so we're going to use that when we are cutting these out. And to finish, what we're going to need, we're going to also need our DSP, our traditional Christmas. So and this actually has several colors, including Secret Sea, but I'm not going to use that one today. I am going to focus on the pool party as the base of this. So I'm going to move things aside. I'm going to quickly start with our little envelope that is this is going to hold our little coffee bags. So this one here, I am going to measure it. So I want mine to be 13.5 centimeters wide. So 13.5. And then we want it to also be 29 centimeters. So that's almost the entire sheet of A4 cardstock. So for those of you that are tuning in and are catching up, this is a video for my collaboration with Tracy Bish. We are both Australian demonstrators in Australia, and we are creating a whole countdown to Christmas. So if you have come to this video and you need a whole heap of inspiration, make sure that you are following along. You are following all the links that we have as well. That will show you all of our projects. So that's where we're going to start. There is our base. Now I am going to score both sides of this one. It's going to be 2 centimeters, sorry, on either side. 2 centimeters, another 2 centimeters. Okay, and then I'm going to score it at 12.5. Yeah. And 25. Okay. Then I can move this to the side. Now I do have a piece of this DSP already cut. It is 9 by 12 centimeters. Okay. So let me pop that to one side. We're going to fold this one and burnish. So I'm going to start here. Okay, and this one as well. So I just love having little gifts that you can create for you know, like without a lot of expense is what I'm trying to say. So for this one, this is actually going to fold backwards. So it's this section here that we're not going to need. Let me see. I'm just going to cut both of those sections there. Now 3D projects is definitely not my go-to, whereas like I said, if you are following along with Tracy, she always has some fantastic projects, so make sure that you are following along with her. So there we go. I've done the middle one here, the little miter cut. I've got this one here as well, and I'm going to trim this one. Now to do that, I'm just going to do it ever so slightly to one side. So this is going to be a little opening of the envelope that we've got, and I'm just going to use a bit of a trick so that it's pretty even. I'm going to turn that to the opposite side and use it there. Now that I've done that, I'm actually going to cut this part down, and because I'm not very good at cutting as straight as some people, I am going to line this back up and I'm going to trim it down using my trimmer. And to there. There we go. There's one. I've been meaning to make sure this is right first whilst I'm talking. So if you're not sure, just lift it up a little bit so you know where to go. There we go. Okay, so I've been meaning to, in these videos, change out my trimmer blade, and I haven't done it yet, which is a bit naughty, because then I've just got to get a little nail file out and pull it all down. But to be honest, if you are conservative with your products like I am, try and get as much time out of a blade as you possibly can. If you really want to, you can actually hold on to one that's sort of worn out a little bit, and it's great for doing thicker cardstock or layers of cardstock. It's only if it's single or if it's DSP that you're going to get that burring. Okay, so we're going to burnish these two sides down. Now, this is the sort of thing, like I said, at Christmas time I like to do. So if you've got some traditions that you like to do for gifting, please let me know. Some ideas would be great from everybody. Now, mine has obviously not been tightened enough when I have closed my lid. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a poke, and that will loosen up my glue. Now you can use a tear and tape. Those that follow me quite often, I don't use tear and tape very much. I am a glue girl. I'm going to fold that down. Okay, so this becomes an envelope. Okay, very simple, and that will actually fold down. But in order to do that, you can see my little coffee bag is going to fit in there, and I think if I measured correctly, I think you can get 2 of them down in there quite nicely. I'm going to just take them out because that glue hasn't finished. To embellish this one is going to be very, very simple. So on the back side, easy to write it on, write on a message. But for the front, I'm going to just use a piece of DSP, which is what I said before for the measurements. And because the pool party matches my DSP, there we go, it matches beautifully. So for this one, yes, you could add another matting and things like that. I'm going to keep it pretty simple because these ones here, I can't remember how many are in a packet here, 20, 25, something like that. So I'll probably make several of these and that will be easy to hand out. So not very expensive either, which is great. Now I'm going to bring in my embossing powder, embossing cut and emboss machine. Oh my goodness. So for this one, it's going to be a little bit on camera. I'm going to put it on an angle. It's a bit easier for you. And we are using, like I said, this die. And I am going to use our two-tone cardstock. I'm probably going to use the both sides, if you know what I mean. I'm going to do the lighter and the darker one. So let me bring that in with the die, and we're going to run it through twice. Just trimming a piece off to do this. Now, the wonderful thing about the two-tone cardstock, which I'll be honest, I haven't got a lot of this, but for this one, what's lovely is that it has a white core, and that white core is really great. I'm going to show you. You can actually use that nail file that I use for lots of other things. This one here is a good one. And I'm going to just sand it back a little bit, and I'll show you how that looks. So there's one there, and there you can see that one. Or, of course, this side is the other colour. So we'll see. I can't decide whether or not, until I get this going, whether or not I know I want both sides or just one. And second one. So I have both of these machines. I have the small one and the large one. The small one pretty much lives in my caravan. So great idea if you are like me and you like to get away traveling, but you don't want to lose time with your crafting, then it's great to have this along with you so you don't miss out. And most, I'll be honest, most of our dies will go through the miniature version. It's just a few large ones. I actually don't know whether or not our new larger alphabet, whether it fits. I'll have to check with Tracy. Tracy will know. Or I could look it up. That's true. All right, that's going to be moved to one side. And here is our two pieces of two-tone cardstock. And I'm going to show you how it looks when I get my little file. So I'm going to just leave it flat, and I'm just going to move across. I might even use the end of it, and you just gently pull pull against the cardstock. Now, because of these, if I went backwards, these would all bend. So I'm just being gentle with this one. If you're doing a die that is a little more robust, is a good word, you could easily use this a little more rough backwards and forwards with me. But this one here, what I like, even though we're in Australia, we don't tend to have snow, for Christmas. I just love the way it just sort of gives that snowy effect. So can you see that a little bit there? And the same on this side. So even though this is the two-tone, the lighter side, this will still have the white card core. So again, just a little bit on the fronds on the end, and then the middle here, that actually does heaps better because it's the opposite side. It's got sort of like veins, I guess. And that's where our die has the impression on this side. almost done. Want it to stand out. There we go. So we've got two. We've got this one and this one. So when I push them together like so, just have a little look. I want a little bit more for this one. Okay, like that. So these two are going to be glued together. Okay. And I'm just going to set it to one side then, because I don't want it to be moving around on my project. So we're just going to pop that one to one side. Now, to do this one, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to do our sentiment, which is a little white circle from Spotlight on Nature. And I'm going to stamp off a couple of our little, our cup. So here comes our cup. This one's well used. And I'm going to use, for that one, the little whipped cream as well. So you're going to see how I'm going to put this one together. So you can, what I like about this is you can use it for a whole heap of occasions. Just swapping around the colours that you use and how you embellish. So I love that stamp set that, you know, there's enough there that you can kind of, even though it's quite American, I guess we could say, it's the things that they celebrate more overseas than what we do here. But I mean, for us, we are sort of using things like, you know, gingerbread and Valentine's Day, that's fine. The apple, well, that could actually be a teacher one, like not just the fall. We do Halloween a little bit here in Australia. The pie could actually be whatever kind of pie you like. And I love the donuts. So we're not going to use that today, but I am definitely going to use it a couple more times before my season is out. Okay, Pool Party as my Stampin' Blend. And then I'm going to add, I think the pink, which in the pink, let me just, I think it doesn't actually, I don't think it lists it. Maybe it does. Anyway, pretty in pink. So I'm going to keep it very simple. Okay, and the only other one I am going to use is Balmy Blue. So the very light Balmy Blue is where I'm going to start. And I'm just going to add a few little tiny bits. Doesn't matter where. You're basically just adding a bit of dimension, and that will dry, and it'll be really hard to even notice it, but because it's whipped cream, that's what is going to be really good fun, and it will give that dimension. So Pool Party, I'm going to start with the darker one, and I am going to use this for my cup, and then I'm going to use my Pretty in Pink to do the sleeve. Okay, so we're very lucky where I live in southeast Queensland. We are in a more rural setting near Toowoomba, and we still have 2 Starbucks, which is great because I get a bit of a chance to move around town and grab my coffees then. This is probably the most part of the year, which I'm filming this in October. And this is where a pumpkin spice latte is where I am. I love it. Very, very difficult here in Australia to even actually get pumpkin spice itself. We have to make our own. And I do love how Starbucks brings that out every year. Okay, I am leaving a bit of white on here. Okay, and I am going to cut it out. Apologies if this is a bit boring, but I'm going to do this as quickly as possible. Doesn't have to be perfect. I don't know. I find I've tried different scissors. Look, the snips, which these little tiny ones we had, and Stampin' Up no longer stock these. There are a few on Amazon and places like that, but just have a little look around. You just basically want a very sharp little
pair of scissors. I've tried different ones, and yeah, this one's great. All right, and our whipped cream is coming out. Like I said, I've already done my gingerbread and whatnot, but I am going to do the little peppermint one as well. And I'm going to add a candy cane or two to the outside of my little packet, just for extra decoration. Okay. I am getting slowly caught up with all my Christmas stuff. We're having a very quiet Christmas this year at my house. This year's been very busy. So yeah, it's going to be a quiet time. All right, little gingerbread man, well cooked. Gingerbread is something that I do make during Christmas time. My youngest is gluten-free, so I have a great recipe that everybody loves. You wouldn't even know it's gluten-free. It's a great little project to do leading up to Christmas. I usually have it going if we're decorating the tree, which, yes, even though we're having a very quiet Christmas, can't be without having a tree. And our little candy cane here too. I know that they now have all these flavours of a candy cane. I just can't get my head around it. Peppermint is peppermint, and, you know, they have all these tropical flavours and all sorts of things. I am a traditionalist when it comes to candy canes, and I do a great chocolate bark that includes crushed candy cane all over the top. All right, now I'm going to keep very simple, and I am going to do "'Tis the Season" as my stamp for this one, for my sentiment. And I am going to grab another piece of my pool party, and I'm going to do black, my Memento black. Okay. Well inked. And that one's going to go here. Just move it over a little bit. There we go. Okay. This is all the preparation. It's going to come together quick shortly. All right. Using my trimmer, I'm going to cut this down, leaving enough space either side because I'm going to add a little banner. Okay. All right, that's a little bit too wide, so let's go again, like so. There we are. And let's do a little little banner either end. Just trim it back a little bit. I think that's about what I want. I'm going to find the center and cut up, and then from each corner I'm going to go into the center. This is a great trick. I love it. Okay, one done. The next one is done. There is actually a new Stamp and Die, a bundle that has sentiments and the little dies that do this for us. So yeah, lots of a great way to have everything nice and simple and done, but I'm a bit old school with this. Okay, can you see that this is going to come together? So here is our little envelope. This is going to be here. This one here, I'm going to have my little sprig, and I'm going to decorate it with our cups. So I'm bringing in some of our dimensional dots. I'm going to turn my little sprig of foliage here, and I'm going to just add some so that it's on our circle. And I'm going to put that one on first. Sorry, I am focused whilst I'm doing this. The two-tone cardstock will also, I have found, dimensional dots. I don't know if it's waxy or if it's just a different finish, but you can see they don't stick as well. You've got to give them a fair bit of pressure, which is fine when you put them onto something else, but to actually just peel it off like this, you've got to sort of, yeah, I don't know, you've got to sort of push it a little harder and then hold it in place. All right, that one, which I am going to put over here, so it just hangs off one side like this, and this one is going to be glued down, keeping it nice and stable. There we go. Okay, like that. Now this one here will sit over the side like this. So I will need a dimensional dot on either side of the banner, just on the edge, so that it sits quite still. And I'll put a little bit of glue in the middle there, just so it sticks to that sprig of foliage. And I'll stick that here, like that. Now, before I do that, I'm actually going to glue these two together. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue there and stick it onto there. Now, you can put it underneath as well. I'm just having it overflowing. How about that? Overflowing. So this one here will go. I can just poke it underneath like this. So I will need a bit of glue, another little bit of dimension dot underneath just to hold it up. Okay, and now we've got our little candy cane and our little gingerbread man. Put him in the center, maybe on a little angle, and then I've got my little candy cane I'm going to put on here as well. Like I said, bit of a process to put all these together, but you can actually cut out lots and lots of things and then assemble it together whilst you're in front of the TV. Okay, so in here I'm going to take my little candy canes and I'm going to use some twine, which I am looking for. Hang on one second. Okay. And if you've watched some of these videos, you'll notice that I used twine that's we have at Christmas time. Okay, so I want it to be, I actually think I want them just to hang to one side. So to do that, I'm just going to wrap it. Okay, so like this, once, twice, okay, and 3 times. Okay, and it's going to sit quite nicely. Just going to trim it off. Okay, this just holds it in place. Kind of cute. Okay, now to keep it in one place, I'll show you in a second. I'm going to use a glue dot is the word I'm looking for. My glue dots are, ooh, disappeared. Hang on. Oh, they were underneath some sticky tape. All right, here's our glue dots. So get this one out. And I am going to use a second candy cane. It's going to fit underneath. Just give it a little bit of a push. There we go, 2 like that. It will hold in place, but I'm just going to add 1 or 2 glue dots just so that it doesn't move. Okay, there we go. There's one. I'm just going to pop it underneath. I hope you can see that. And push it down. And the second one under the other one, just so it does hold in one place. There we go. All right, adding in my little coffee sachets in here, and I'm going to push it down, and then that's going to hold this down like so. Give it a little push. That one there I'll probably just sticky tape down, and then this is our finished little gift. Okay, so I'll bring that one up. You could change the colors, you could change your DSP. I do love this little snowy sprigs here, and you don't have to add the candy canes. You could add a little other sort of chocolate or something and hang it off there. So that's today's project. Thank you everybody for joining me. Make sure that, like I said, you are following along. If you haven't subscribed to mine and Tracy's, please make sure you do. You can watch, you know, almost every day each week. Every day each week, yes, that's right. And make sure that you do leave some comments and follow along on all of the links that are in the description. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you next time.